Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ryantist the Scientist. We are here with another segment of Here's Some Good News. So, the first thing that I want to say is thank you to everybody for listening and for supporting the show in all of the ways that you do, whether by listening, following, commenting, sharing, all of those things. It means a lot. It really helps get the show out there, and that kind of support is tremendous. So, getting into the good news, there's a bunch of it. So, we got two things. Both of them have to do with the United Nations and things that are happening because it exists and because it is being participated in by all of the nations that do. So, the first thing, which is this is really cool. The first thing is that the United Nations is investing 3.1 billion euros into developing a global climate disaster warning system that will save millions of lives and reduce the costs of damages because of the ability to have warnings by about 30%. So this is really cool for tons of reasons. But the first of which is that about half of the world isn't covered by early warning systems for hazards. So what is it, almost 8 billion people in the world. So about 4 billion people don't have access to any of that if we're going strictly by that metric. So this being a global warning system will provide warning to the other half of the planet that has not been getting access to that at all. It's like the whole point of it. It's part of an initiative to help lower income countries adapt to the impacts of climate change. That's that's some of the wording. The way I don't really care for that wording of it. Basically, what it is that countries with money are contributing to helping countries without money because of the problems that countries with money have caused, while the countries with money and without money figure out how to clean up all this shit. Basically, that's kind of what's happening. So it'll send out this warning system. What it can do is it collects data from a bunch of monitoring devices and can forecast hazardous weather, disaster risks, and it sends out emergency alerts to everyone in the whole entire world, which is amazing. So hurricanes, cyclones, tsunamis, blizzards, deep freezes, all these things that it'll be able to detect and alert, forecast, and alert people all over the world of all of these things. So it's like a unified emergency alert system for the whole planet, which is just such a cool thing. And the next thing about the UN is in regards to coral reefs. So this is really cool because coral reefs are not historically, but recently, not doing great. Things are not the best for the coral reefs. They have moments of rebound, and it's just not doing good. But people are out there doing the good work and putting in the efforts to fix it and to conserve corals because of their importance as animals that have inherent value in their existence, and also because of the tremendous amount of service that they provide. So they provide habitat and reproduction site to a tremendous percentage of the wildlife in the ocean. So they're like tremendously important for marine animals' life cycles, and as just a place to live, and as like a source of like vibrant and resource filled environments that just like are thriving, and they're a huge center of biodiversity. And so the next really, really awesome thing is, so the UN is providing 15 million euros to protect coral reefs off of Egypt's Red Sea Peninsula, which is one of the most biodiverse coral reef systems in the entire world. So, white people, I'm sure, are very familiar with the Great Barrier Reef, and a lot of resources have been going into its like studying it, repairing it, fixing it. Other parts of the world have it too, but I feel like most white people know about that one. But guess what? There's coral reefs where not white people live too. And, you know, this is really, really awesome because it's diverting money into this specific coral reef system that has tremendous biodiversity value. It's the most biodiverse coral reef system in the world, or one of the most biodiverse coral reef systems in the world, which means that it hosts more types of life than most other ecosystems, which is like crazy. They're not even big. Their like overall mass compared to the ocean is quite small, but that's where most life of the oceans is impacted, is because coral reef systems exist. So they're super, super important. This one is super, super important, and it's also important to human systems because it is one of the economy drivers in the area, as is in Australia with the Great Barrier Reef, and off the Pacific Islands, those barriers, Florida, Mexico, Southern California, Baja California. There's coral reefs like in a lot of places. Historically, not so much. Florida does, I think it's 4%. Is what remains. Not a lot left down there. Bad things are happening. But other places in the world are investing in their conservation and repair. There's a lot of value that these have in Earth systems, in biological systems, in aquatic ecosystems. They're super, super important. So this is really, really good news. This is definitely a win. And I'm very, very happy to see so many subsequent United Nations doing really, really great things happening, like kind of like bam, 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 right in a row. It's good to see. It's a win. So that's this week's good news. Tune in next week for more. If you have questions that you would like to ask, call into the show. That phone number is 347-470-4144. Again, 347-470-4144. And remember, there are no questions that are too big or too small. Music for the show was created by Julian Giamma. I want to say thank you so much for working with me to create such a fun song, and thank you everyone for listening and for supporting the show. See you all again next week.